Hello. My name is Thomas Wrigley. I'm a Senior Alliance Manager at Floqast, and the purpose of today's presentation will be to help attendees determine if Floqast accounting operations management software will be able to help your accounting department shorten the month-end close and audit. So as we head into the fourth quarter, a lot of accounting and finance departments are getting ready for year-end. So I think what we'll cover should be timely. By the end of this 15-minute session, my hope is that everyone has a basic understanding of Floqast's capabilities and the types of organizations that find them valuable. With this in mind, if you have questions about how Floqast would work for you, you can email me at thomas@floqast.com and we can have a more personalized conversation. But let's dive in. So if you aren't familiar with Floqast, we provide accounting operations management software that centralizes key workflows for the office of the CFO. Our flagship module in the NetSuite ecosystem is Floqast Close, and our average client on this module shortens the days it takes to close by about 30% and streamlines the audit. In fact, Floqast Close has been so effective for our clients that in 2020, we not only won NetSuite's SDM Partner of the Year award or the Suite App Partner of the Year award, but we're also the consistent winner of G2 Crowd's highest customer satisfaction ratings across all financial applications. A major reason for our success is the fact that Floqast solutions are built by accountants who actually live the problem themselves. With this in mind, just this week, we actually announced the release of Floqast Ops, which is a new workflow manager solution that extends the power of Floqast Close. We found that accountants spend over 70% of their time on accounting processes that are either largely manual or still have a considerable amount of manual effort. And Floqast Ops is designed to help controllers and their teams automate these manual processes and bring greater control, visibility, and collaboration to accounting operations. Some of the workflows Floqast Ops will encompass are upstream or downstream to the close, like SEC reporting, internal audit, FP&A, SOX compliance, sales tax, and others. And our clients are excited to have a command center that all finance and accounting team members can collaborate in. With this said, for the purposes of time, the rest of the session will focus on the specifics of Floqast Close. So let's start with some objective results. ZoomInfo is a relatively notable NetSuite team that credits Floqast with helping them take a 30-day close all the way down to a 5-day close. One of the facts about this story that makes it impressive is that we helped them accomplish these results as they were going public, which naturally means that there were many other operational initiatives and software initiatives happening simultaneously. The reason this is possible is because Floqast prides itself on being easy to use and quick to deploy. So the director of financial systems at ZoomInfo actually says, in regards to time to value with Floqast, it has been better than with any other of the 15 NetSuite integrations that he's done in his 20-year career. The entirety of the setup took 2 weeks. The NetSuite integration takes about 15 to 30 minutes to plug in and turn on. And with this, we were able to, again, get that 25-day reduction in days to close. But this is at a high level, a high level ROI statistic that's impressive, and some of the results that we are able to achieve. However, I want to hop in now to the human element and the impact that we have on actual accounting team members and how we actually affect their day-to-day workflows. So a major reason that our quick setup is possible is because as an organization, one thing we really value is to meet accountants where they work today. So we don't want to overhaul the close. Floqast is designed in a way that's intuitive to accounting teams, but also that works and adds meaningful automation to key workflows like task management and reconciliations. With this in mind, let's begin functionality talk. So, Floqast upgrades NetSuite's task management capabilities. That's one way to look at what we're providing here. The reality is NetSuite's period close module might have a checkbox to complete a process like AP, but there are many other steps that need to go into the AP process and the processes for every other balance sheet account prior to checking that box, right? So prior to Floqast, most accounting teams are tracking task management with Excel checklists or Google Sheets. And the result is different team members may have different checklists saved in different files, and the controller or team members who are dependent on each other's work are left emailing, chatting, calling, or waiting for a status update meeting to find out if the information they need to do their work. So Floqast task management capabilities save our clients so much time because we connect these disparate systems. We're bringing together email, Excel checklists, chat apps, status meetings, and disorganized file storage. So the screenshot on the right is a perfect example of what we mean when we say built by accountants for accountants. Right here in the closed module, we integrate with cloud storage to create a standardized file storage process for the accounting department. In this screenshot, we're in the cash and cash equivalents folder, and you can see we've now centralized all tasks, all supporting documentation, and reconciliations for this particular process. This works well because we're connecting the systems and the data that accountants already use today just in one centralized location. You'll also notice there are, in this checklist portion, there are real-time preparer and reviewer sign-offs with time and date stamps, and the ability to leave review notes or coaching notes to document back and forth between team members. What's nice about this is the ability to leave review notes on a specific task, piece of support, or reconciliation, is the fact that it will always be there for historical reference. So not only for the review, but maybe for onboarding a new team member or for the audit months later. It's going to all be very easily searchable and there for reference. Now, these actions like signing off on an item or leaving a review note for a team member actually trigger notifications via email and chat apps like Microsoft Teams and Slack, which becomes super helpful for not only the accounting team working together, but for cross-departmental collaboration. One of my favorite parts about these chat app integrations is the ability to reply right within Microsoft Teams or Slack and have that reply note post as a review note on that specific item in Floqast. You can kind of tell that this is built by auditors, right? Because everything is very referenceable and designated to a specific task and occurrence or point in time. An added benefit Floqast clients receive is automation of the administrative duties that go into maintaining a tight close process. What I mean by this is the fact that this folder structure on the left-hand side, the tasks, the support, the recs, they're all automatically rolled forward every single month, which helps our clients create a structured, repeatable process and removes the administrative work that's necessary for a company to create and maintain an effective close that allows for continuous improvement. Now, one of the most valuable notifications Floqast provides accounting teams is notifications around trial balance tie-outs. So if you aren't familiar with Floqast reconciliation capabilities, there are three main functions or three main umbrellas I like to start with. So the first is automating the trial balance tie-out process. To do so, we integrate with NetSuite via direct API. Again, turning this on is as simple as downloading the Floqast bundle in the Suite App Store. This API will pull in the trial balance data from NetSuite and compare it to ending balances from Excel reconciliations that are saved in cloud storage. No uploading necessary, we're pulling into these files. What's nice about this is you don't have to open up files, manually eyeball ending balances in Excel, manually refresh a TV report in NetSuite on another screen, and then manually figure out if there's a material variance and then monitor it throughout the close as more entries are happening. What Floqast does is we're creating a dynamic link between these numbers and notifying team members if accounts go out of balance. So meaning, if an account that previously tied gets knocked out from a journal entry, the team's going to receive an email or a chat app notification in real time and be able to address that variance. The second piece of automation we bring to reconciliations is what we refer to as auto-rec matching. So think of NetSuite's bank rec module. Floqast extends the capabilities of NetSuite's bank rec module to any two accounts, providing our clients the ability to reconcile transaction level data for a bank account, if that's going to be the main account, but also for clearing accounts, credit cards, intercompany, maybe even Salesforce data to NetSuite. What's nice about this is Floqast engine runs on AI and machine learning as opposed to a rule-based approach. And what we can do is match one-to-one transactions, one-to-many, or even many-to-many transactions. So we do not take this rules-based approach. This is very purposeful. Big reason we've been successful for teams is because we're able to do it based off of reference fields and off of machine learning and probability, so that our machine can make these matches with confidence, even if descriptions might not be exact. So it's pretty cool. Hope for the opportunity to show you it if that sounds interesting. The third piece of automation we bring to reconciliations is automating reconciliations for amortizations. So for example, Floqast will take our client's prepaid amortization waterfall schedule and automatically perform the calculations every month, create the journal entry and create the roll forward schedule as well. So for some teams that leverage NetSuite's amortization capabilities, that's great, but their auditors still force them to kind of track those with an Excel reconciliation. In those scenarios, Floqast can replace that Excel reconciliation and automate the tracking of that. In other areas, if you're not using Floqast or NetSuite's amortization module for whatever reason, Floqast amortization module might be a better fit, so it could be worth exploring. But to wrap up reconciliations, the beauty of how Floqast does this is that we leverage Excel for its strengths. We understand that there are certain reconciliations that can't be templatized, that can't be standardized and automated. And we have a direct integration to automate the most manual part of that process there, that TB tie out. And then for reconciliations that are maybe a bit more standard and there are rooms for automation, we're able to help automate the most manual portions of those as well, whether it be reconciling transactions, maintaining and creating the waterfall and roll forward schedules, or just automatically signing off on those zero balance accounts that don't necessarily change all the time and letting teams know when they do change, when they do need to look into these. But moving right along, because task management, reconciliations, and support are being tracked in Floqast, we're able to provide global visibility into the status of the close. So our founder, Mike, is a former EY auditor and deferred revenue accountant. And one of the big pain points he experienced as an accountant at a pre-IPO company on NetSuite was status update meetings, right? The larger his accounting team got and the more complex the close became, the longer he would spend in status update meetings every week. And Floqast helps mitigate the time spent in these types of meetings and makes the ones that do need to happen much more productive. The end result is whether you're a CFO, controller, accounting team member working on the close, or a finance team member, performing work that's dependent on the close, you have complete visibility into all information you need when you need it. So CFOs no longer have to, call or email the controller, who would then have to call or email the team or get a status update meeting just to figure out where things stand. And individual contributors have personalized dashboards that tell them exactly where they should spend the time for the day. Aside from being able to answer the question of will we close on time, we'll also provide analytics, right? So to go a layer deeper, when we take all this data and we aggregate it and provide actionable analytics into the accounting processes and the distribution of work among team members. This means we'll call out recurring late tasks and balance sheet accounts so you can pinpoint bottlenecks. And our clients who have the biggest reduction in days to close often use our analytics module, during a debrief meeting with the team each month. Like a controller or a CAO will assign the perpetually late tasks to team members and ask them to do some digging and figure out how to make it more efficient. A lot of times this ends up driving tweaks to policies and procedures, right? Or the disbursement of work among team members, or it shines a light on an external party that they need to have a conversation with because they're delaying, the information that the accounting team needs to actually perform their work. The bigger picture is we're providing visibility into bottlenecks, and we're pointing the team to where they can begin to work and focus their time to drive improvement. Now, another module that Floqast has is Flux Analysis. In short, what we're providing here is a flexible comparison for periods, including month over month, quarter over quarter, and year over year. And we're automatically running these reports each month. We're going to automatically flag and notify team members of material variances so that they can document explanations as they perform the rec. And then we're going to give them an Excel export, for the sharing of Flux outside of Floqast. It's a great format for leadership or board meetings. And what it does is it brings the Flux analysis process into the close process so that the accounting team can kind of begin to leave those explanations as things are happening. It mitigates the occurrence of having to do research of past periods and figure out what happened weeks ago or a month ago. The whole reason we built this is there are some limitations to the way ERPs do Flux analysis. There is no way to add written explanations in an ERP report. So teams ended up having to essentially export the report into Excel, manually identifying material fluctuations, and then manually adding explanations. And then maybe a topside journal entry happens and you need to do it all over again. So we created this, and it's been a huge time saver for our clients and has actually allowed them to begin focusing more on Flux analysis and getting those reports done on a monthly basis. Lastly, when it comes to functionality, one of our newest modules is called Remind. And you can think of it as a request management workflow tool. And what it's doing is automating the task of using email to request and summarize information for the accounting team. So in short, what we found is a lot of our clients were shortening the days it takes to close significantly. And when we had QBRs with them to ask them, what can we do to help you get the close down even shorter? Some of the answers were, well, I'm not sure there's much we can do because we're waiting on information from external departments, maybe a legal vendor for their accruals, to perform our work. So we put our minds to trying to help solve this problem, and because what we found was it was a big pain, and it took up a lot of time for the accounting team to actually email all these external vendors, right, or parties or other departments, and then stay on top of those emails, right, and follow up with them. So in short, what Remind does is automate that entire process of requesting and receiving information. There's structured cadences that we can set up for our clients so that for their legal accruals. If the external party isn't getting back to them right away, we will automatically kind of have that follow-up email go out, request the information, and it's pretty cool. It's very nifty. With that, I think I'm up on my 15 minutes. I think I'd like to leave you with, if this sounds interesting, if there's an initiative to improve the month-end close and improve the audit, it is a great time to learn if Floqast would be able to help you. Please reach out to myself or Net at Work and just reference this webinar, and we'll be able to point you in the right direction, do some exploratory to learn about your processes, and then help you determine if we're going to be able to help you out.